cheese is just so good. It's Irish cheddar. Mmm. Mmm.
From our studios in suburban Cincinnati, this is the Ohio News with lead anchor Anthony Edelmann.
Hello, and welcome to another broadcast of the Ohio News. I'm lead anchor Anthony Edelmann. Today we have plenty more stories to bring you from the glorious state of Ohio. But first, our top story. Cheese is amazing. Seriously, we have some extra sharp Kraft cheddar. Very creamy. Love to use this in my beer cheese. And of course, our not sponsored superior drink, Ocean Spray Cran Grape. It's seriously Ocean Spray. I will say anything good about this because there's nothing bad that I could say. We have some Fontina. Excellent for melting. Also pairs well in the beer cheese with the extra sharp cheddar. And of course the Irish cheddar, which is a bit more crumbly, but might be the best of the bunch here. It's just so good. We might need to invade Wisconsin. Wow. All right. We're on to our next story now. Junior correspondent Anthony Edelmann has an update on civilization. I believe he's been nuking people or something. So we'll go to that now, and I'm going to keep eating this cheese. Anthony?
I do have something more important to do. And that, my friends, is to drop some nuclear missiles on our enemies. Because it's come to my attention that the world needs to be set straight. England conquered not only Singapore, but Quebec City and Buenos Aires, as well as the very innocent peoples here of Kiev, and that is just not okay. So for every city-state that they conquered, we are going to teach them a lesson. That lesson is a nuclear lesson, and I hope they learn it, because we're not playing nice, Europe. Send this guy back. Send this guy forwards, and now we can unleash nuclear devastation upon our enemies. I don't know which of these cities to hit. Feels like York is probably a good city to hit. Canterbury also. We're just going to nuke the English cities. We're not going to nuke the other cities. I think we're going to go for York first. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, let's go. See ya, airplanes. Bye-bye. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. Okay, go back. Want to nuke some more people. Yeah, R.I.P. York. Somehow those fighter planes survived, which I don't know how they did that. That was impressive. Surviving a nuclear missile. Yeah, I don't know what those fighter planes are made of, but I want some of that. However, next up, we're going to nuke a Russian city. Kind of funny that the two powers right now that I've heard the most saber-rattling in the world are the Russians and threatening to nuke the English over Ukraine. And here I am nuking both of them over Ukraine. and over, I don't know what country that is in real life, but we're gonna nuke Yakutsk here, the city I like to call Yatsuk because it just moves some letters around. It's Yatsuk. But yeah, we're gonna nuke Yakutsk because that's actually Siberia, and I think I'd be doing them a favor because it's really cold in Siberia. So you're welcome, guys. See ya. Feels bad, but you gotta do it. Send a message that conquering city-states is not okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. It's a bit violent. Well, maybe we can use those against Wisconsin to get this cheese. My poor diet. We'll go now to Chief Meteorologist Anthony Edelmann, who has an update on the weather here in Ohio. Anthony?
It's sunny.
Thank you. Thank you, Anthony, for that valuable weather update. We'll go now to a quick commercial break. See you in a bit.
Bacon has more sodium than steak. And sodium increases your blood pressure. So, to keep your blood pressure numbers high, bacon for food. Vote bacon.
Welcome back. We're going to go now to Professor Anthony Edelmann, who has an update on some Ohio math, something about missiles. Maybe we'll use those against Wisconsin. Professor?
Thank you, Anthony. I'm back here today to teach you about the wonders of calculus. And don't worry, this is going to be very useful as well. So, the first main feature of calculus is the derivative. That may seem a little derivative, but I think it's accurate. That pun's not standing. So, what would you use this derivative for? Now, you can use a derivative to calculate the speed of an object. Like, let's say, a car. Yes, this is a car. Don't hate my car. So, if we know the equation that determines the position of the car, which we'll say in this case is equal to maybe 40x squared minus 3x cubed. That is the position of our car. Now, if we take the formula here and take the derivative of this, we get that the car is prime is the dash mark, the derivative. We get that the derivative is 40. Now, to get the derivative of x squared, you take the power, multiply it, and then minus the power by 1, subtract 1, so you get x to the first power times 2, which is just x, 2x, so we get 2x, parenthesis action, minus 3 times 3x, so you can move the dot. Then you multiply this through, you get y prime is equal to 80x minus 9x squared. So leave out your squareds. Now, hypothetically, let's say this car is doing this acceleration for just 3 seconds. This is in feet per second, y is in feet, x is in seconds. So, to do the math to figure out how fast your car is going at 3 seconds, then you can look at this equation here, put in a 3, and you will get 80 times 3 minus 9 times, 3 squared, which is 9. 240 minus 81 is equal to 159, and that is feet per second. 159 feet per second is the velocity that we're going. After all of this, and if you want miles per hour, you can do some wacky conversion. I don't want to. So that's the calculus to determine how fast your car is going. But there's something even better that I want to tell you about that you can use calculus to figure out. Smartest man in the news. Most eraser news. So, as you may or may not know, Ohio will soon expand. And to do that, we're going to need very, very effective weapons. So, we will have weapons. And they're going to fire out places. And in particular, we have a missile. And I want to determine how fast it'll be going when it hits the target, right? So to do this, I'm going to need to consult my notes. The Boffins over at College of Ohio sent me some very interesting data, which should very much help with this. The equation for the position of the missile is it's 1176.8 x squared. That's serious acceleration. There's no drag on the missile. This formula takes all of that into account. So that's x squared. But then we also have to take into account the angle at which the missile is launched, right? We're launching our missile, and it should land over there, right? But the angle theta, no more alphas or betas, we're on theta this time, sorry guys. Angle theta, we know this to be equal to 60 in our current tests. But the problem is, we're trying to get the horizontal velocity. The horizontal velocity of the rocket. Well, this number here is the total velocity of the rocket. So we're going to have to do a little correction here. You can use our old pal trigonometry time, and we determined, testing, that the correction factor is equal to the square root of the cosine of theta, because this is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is the full velocity. The adjacent, in this case, is just the horizontal velocity, and the square root is there because as you get up here, the velocity becomes more and more horizontal in its nature. This side over here, we don't really care about that side. But we know this, and we want to figure out the horizontal velocity. So to do that, we'll take our y equals 1176.8 x squared, right? And do the derivative, right? Which is the whole thing we're doing today, right? So we'll take the derivative. We get 1176.8 times 2x. Also, we're going to have to add in our little cosine theta to get the x direct.
Sorry, we have breaking news. There's a mysterious figure spotted in our studio. I'm not sure who this person is, but we'll keep an eye on him. Back to you, Professor.
Okay. So I just talked to the people, the Ohio collegers, who told me this stuff, and they say the one thing we're missing is x. We don't know what x is. We need to figure out how long it'll take to land. Fortunately, they told me that our distance to target is 208 miles, which means our y is in miles and our x is in hours. We're using miles per hour here in this formula, different than the feet per second. So to get the miles per hour of the missile, which we're launching here, we would need to know how long it'll take, and they told me guys, it's 1/2. So it's literally just a half hour, which is not much time for morning. Not that people can defend against really fine. But anyway, to calculate then this here formula, to get what the velocity of the missile will be, we just have to multiply this through. Y prime x is equal to 1176.8 times 2 times a half, which 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that cancels, times the cosine, square root of cosine rather, of the angle, which is 60. The cosine of 60 degrees actually, that's just a half. That's a half. No, that's the side. Which means 3/2. Yeah, let me consult my notes again. Yeah, so we get 0.707, which is the square root of 2. Or 1 over the square root of 2, excuse me. Of course, this is about 76.8. Multiply these guys together. I do know this one. That is 862 miles per hour. Now, if the car wasn't breaking the speed limit, which I guess it couldn't be, right? There's no feet per second speed limit. Loopholes, guys, loopholes. This missile totally is breaking the speed limit, though, so, no chance with that one, guys. Yeah? Hey! No! Guys! Ah!
Well, thank you, Professor, for that update. I'm not sure what happened to you, but I will send somebody to go figure out. It appears we have a surprise special guest.
Are you the leader? Because this show is at an end. No one cares about Ohio. I will end you and this show. Do not come back here. Do not record again. Or else it might be the last thing you do.
Well, on that ominous note, that's all we have for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching the Ohio News. I think the cops are coming for that guy, so hopefully they find him and finish up this delicious cheese. And we'll see you next time. Have a good night.